Welcome to Season 3 of Sunday Conversations. Thank you for your continued support. Get ready as we embark on this year's journey of great content. Sit back, enjoy, and delight yourself with these conversations.
So I'm gonna back up and go read the book before I say something else. But no, and that actually the crazy thing is that did help because she had that. So when we would have conversations, she would show me how to respond the right way, even if I don't feel like or feel like emotionally I'm at a place where I shouldn't respond. So she would be like, you know what, we're not going to have this conversation. I can't talk right now.
I can't.
Can you give me time for my response? I'd be like, no, let's talk right now. Let's get it out. And I started to realize that when you respond quick like that, you start to say stuff you don't mean. You start to do stuff and react a way that you shouldn't react. And so now I'm able to, you know what, let's table this. Let's move on to something else. I'm not going to hold this and allow this to fester, but at the same time, I'm not going to allow it to affect our relationship because it's not that serious.
That's very powerful because you have to have time enough to, I've learned this through my years too, is that you have to give a person time enough to respond. Sometimes the person just don't have the words to actually say at that moment. And with me, I'd be like, why you ain't got nothing to say? Oh, I got you, and it's like, no, it's like, let me process this. And then now that, man, it's so much stuff now. I have to take time to process. I'm like, hold on, let me process this. Let me actually write this down and let me give it true thought and true focus so I can come back and give a better answer or not. Well, you're not trying to give a textbook answer or a better answer. You're trying to give the proper answer, so that I'm not offending you. So that when I do say it, it's not offending you and causing you to have a reaction to my response, and then now I'm having a reaction to your response, and now we're back in the same circle.
We're not getting nowhere.
And we're not getting anywhere.
Isn't it amazing that because I go through the same thing, and I sometimes I'm really quick with it, so I can have a response back just like that. But it's amazing how what I found that I could be in a situation and I could not say something, and then I can go off and I could think about it. And I'm like, man, I'm upset I didn't say what I wanted to say because I feel like that, this person might have got over on me, and I ain't no punk. So I want to replay that over and over again. So it's replaying it, and then I go through different things I could have said. Oh, that would have been a good one if I would have said that. Yep. Oh yeah, I could have got him with that one. Oh, I'd have shut it down if I would have said that. But if after you give it some time, you don't even have the same vigor. You don't even feel the same way. If I come back and talk and we pick up tomorrow, I'm not even gonna feel the same way I felt about it in that moment. I can't even get back to that same place where I was. So tabling a topic, stepping away,
it's smart. It's wise.
It's very wise.
It's wise.
It's very wise because your response will be so much more educated, so much better. It'll just be totally different.
Yes. Now, what I found that works for me too, sometimes I can't speak exactly what it is I want to say as far as vocalizing and speaking it, but then I can write it.
Yeah.
I can write it. And what I've learned is sometimes when you're in a heated conversation, sometimes it's best to just sit back and say, can we table this? And then write what you're trying to say, because it forces the person to read what you are saying. And then it should encourage them to have informed thought process to the response and not responding out of I'm just trying to respond because I'm in this heated I'm in this heated space. And Abram, I'm definitely going to agree with you, man. It is something about that when you can step away from a situation and you can calm down, you can calm yourself down, and then come back and actually speak about it. It makes a world of difference. And that's where the word come in, and it says that that a soft response would turn away wrath. So So when you learn how to use the word properly in every aspect of your life, it's just like when Pastor said 2 Sundays ago that it's in the word that you find your healing. It's in the word where you find out about your finances. It's in the word when you find out about this and about love. It's in the word when you find that. And that was such a powerful statement, because that, and when I say like that statement right there stood out for me about the entire message that he taught. That 1 minute statement was so powerful and it's so impactful that if you missed it, it's like, so when you go back and you watch it, like, how did I miss that? It's just like when you watch that movie and then you go back and watch it again, like, dang, I missed that. Yep. But how did I miss that? So it's that type of stuff that you have to recognize about yourself, and also you have to recognize how I tell couples, how do I change the vocabulary of my communication with you? If I can change my vocabulary in our communication to make the communication better, how much better could we communicate? Right. And I always say that we have to learn how to communicate to the other person's understanding. Right. Military. You ever taken I don't know what the Air Force called it. You ever or even through our school, you ever went and I took our speech 101, where you learn how to talk to your audience.
Effective communication.
Yeah, effective communication too. So you learn how to talk to the audience. Sometimes I think that we forget that we should use them same techniques within our own house. And when we are speaking to our spouse or speaking to our children, we have to speak according to the audience level of understanding.
Right.
And I think that those are tools sometimes that we forget. So Abram, how did you incorporate the word into where you are today? And we know what Ephesians 5 say, and it says about how the husband is to love the wife, right? So how did you incorporate that into your marriage with your wife?
Well, the Bible talks about the church being Christ's bride.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how Christ feels about the church, about his people. We all know how he feels. So at its simplest form, I'm supposed to love my wife the same way Christ loves the church.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to live by that example. Sometimes,
hey, we don't get it right all the time, bro. It is what it is.
I don't want to sit up here and make it
hey,
seem
true.
Like, I want to keep it as real as possible. But that's what I when I look at the relationship with my wife. I'm supposed to love my wife just the way that Christ loves the church, and that's how I try. At the end of the day, that's what I'm striving for.
Yeah, that's good,
Alex.
I think for me, and this has been my running theme for a few months now, is I replay it every time I enter into a situation, is to not think of myself more highly than I ought to.
That's good.
I really put myself in subjection to being able to be there for my wife, even if I'm tired and I don't feel like doing nothing. Okay, this is for her. This is what do you need me to do? What do you need me to do for the boys? I got you. Or the boys, hey, what do y'all need me to do? Like, really putting myself in that position to not put me above this. Like, no ego, no. We can't act like we don't have emotions, but it's just putting those things into subjection and being able to operate in that space where it's not about me, It's about them and whatever I can do for them. And 9 times out of 10, it has kept me in the right place at the right time every time. In the right frame of thinking, how I respond, and how I deal with just the unforeseen circumstances that come their way. It's not putting myself above it.
Awesome. So, do you guys know what your love languages are?
I don't know. I know, but I don't know the term anymore. I forgot what the
Okay, so you got
things are.
quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts. Did I say all 5 of them? What was that, 5?
Yeah, mine's
Yeah,
is
that was
touch. Mine's is touch. I love, I need physical touch. I don't care about gifts. I don't care about, words of affirmation. I just want touch. And it's funny because Elise don't like to be touched. She's very funny about being touched, but she wants affirmation. And so going into it, I didn't know that. I didn't know nothing about that stuff. So she would get mad. I can do everything right, but if I don't give her words of affirmation, it's like I didn't do nothing at all.
Funny because I know her and I can hear her. Don't touch me.
Yeah, don't touch me.
I can hear her saying it right now.
I can hear her saying it,
like
man.
hugs, like the boys, like they know now, but they have to ask for permission because she's just really funny about being touched. And so she was like, "Dang, man." And so it's like weird because if I go to bed, I gotta touch, like I gotta find, like put my hand somewhere to make sure I'm good. And if she's in a mood, she be like, so yeah. So word, physical touch is mine.
Abram, did you know your word?
Yeah, I do. Touch all day.
Yeah.
Touch. hey, girl, you ain't touched me in a couple of days. Hey.
Feel some kind of way.
Yeah, hey, no.
Like,
and it's and that's just one of the things that me and my wife had to learn about each other, because she's big on words of affirmation, and that's what I talk about. She had to teach me how to love her, and kind of I feel comfortable speaking for her, saying vice versa, because she's very good at giving words of affirmation. I don't care nothing about none of that. I don't care about that. Are you touching me? I'm talking about she will text something, she will send me some words of affirmation. I'll get to work, she'll wake up because I'm at work early, and she'll wake up and I'll come open up my phone and I got a text from her, just affirming me, telling me to have a great day, and all of these other things, and how
that's so
important I am.
sweet.
And I'm looking at this stuff like, man, you didn't touch me last night.
This don't mean nothing.
You ain't touched me all night.
Yeah, you didn't touch me last night. So and so she gives me what she wants, and I was giving her what I want.
Yes,
and
it should be reversed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So how good are you now at giving the words of affirmation now?
Better, not where I should be. Definitely
Better?
Not where I should be, but better.
You want to know something that that could help you out real good? Google. Bro, you ain't gotta tell her that you ain't gotta tell her that you Googled it, but you can find some good words. Hey, I ain't saying that's what he's doing, but I'm just giving him some good advice.
Yeah.
But Google can help you out, bruh. And then once you practice, then you'll start saying. But watch this. God, what can I say to my wife today that'll blow her socks off? Dad, I need some words to say to your daughter today that's going to bless her.
I think that's the ultimate Google right there. That's the
ultimate Google.
Yeah, that's the
ultimate Google.
Right there.
Yes. But then but he did give us tools. But use the tools and I talk to Dad at the same time. Right. Like, Dad, okay, Dad, I'm gonna start here. Okay, I'm gonna start, but I would love for you to drop something up in here. What I also learned and what I've done recently is journal reactions when things happen. I did this was the reaction. Ooh. And it helps because when you get to go back and read your journal about even the conversations, how the conversation went, journal how that you truly feel, journal how that you heard what she said, and you write down what what your spouse, the person, you are write down what your spouse said, and then when you get back to come back in your own private time and actually read that, man, you will start seeing the words completely different, and you start gaining a better understanding of what she was saying to you. So I found that out here recently that works big time. If you just journal, like after you have a tough conversation or even a very happy conversation, go and actually actually write it down, because when you come back and read it, man, it's amazing what those words do to you, and you'll find yourself having well-informed thoughts about your spouse that for both of you, because both of your spouses like words of affirmation. So, and you'll find that it'll actually start coming to you, and then you can wake up, like, because I know you get up before Elise, so you can text her something so that when she wake up, she actually see it, and I know you get way up before your wife get up, and then now you can so now you know what to hit her with. Pow. Look, I just yes, got it. And so then that's look, and then that's when the brownie points come in, and then you get touched on the night like you want to.
That's what I was sitting over thinking. I was saying, when the words of affirmation coming right, that touched me a little.
Yeah, see,
see, set it up.
Yeah, exactly. Set it up.
One hand washes the other. You know,
set it up. Exactly. So. Where an area, Alex, an area that you say that I'm going to work on improving in this area?
I would say my emotional responses. Because for the most part, I'm even keel. Like sometimes I'm even more stonewalled than anything.
Really?
And so, making sure that from an emotional standpoint that I don't, I guess, check out.
Nah, that's powerful right
because
there.
I can be very like, if this is what we gotta do, I'm gonna compartmentalize, suck it up, and I can.
And
just
we so good at that.
and I can forget it, not knowing the effect that it has on her.
Correct.
And so that one of the things, and I mean, she did it today, listening to the sound of her voice, like something's not right, and checking in versus being like, all right, well, I'll talk to you later, bye. Because I can be quick to be just business-like. And so being able to have discernment about that towards her and what she's going through, I think that's something that I definitely want to improve on and get better at.
Abram?
Being available, being more available. Sometimes when I just don't want to be bothered, I just kind of like to, it's, you go out here, you go to work every day, deal with all of these outside factors. Sometimes you come home, you just want to decompress. And I have my family, and this is for my wife and my kids. They just, they clean. They love it when everybody's home.
Everybody come home.
Everybody
clean.
comes home. It's just and I'm like, hey, I need a minute.
Yep.
I need a minute, but it's kind of selfish in a way. I do need that, but I have to realize the role that I play in their lives.
But how do you voice that? Like, I think it's very intentional, purposeful, and right to say, when I come home, let me have 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever that you need. I think that is smart. And I also think that it's right, because you don't want to come home after dealing with so many different attitudes throughout the day and dumping it all onto your family. Yeah. So I think it is wise to ask for that time. Hey, when I come home, can I have this? Or not can I have, but I would like to have this. And this is the reason why. I think that we as men have a hard time sometimes communicating exactly what it is that we need. And because the fact that we don't sometimes know how to communicate that effectively, we do action and we put actions to how we're feeling without considering that there's a whole, that there are other people in the house that actually need me. There's other people in the house that looking at me to bring them joy. And I think that we have to effectively communicate that, because if not, then we can find ourselves tearing something that never was meant to be tore.
Right. I think you make a great point there. My wife and I, we really don't argue much, but one of our biggest, disagreements always comes from perception.
Oh, I can't stand that word. I can't stand that word. I ain't gonna lie. I can't stand that word.
All I needed was a minute to just relax, just decompress. I had to deal with some stuff that I'd rather not talk about. It might have been petty stuff, but it bothered me throughout the day. Just little stuff, and I just need to decompress for a while. And you want to talk? I'm just not available right now. And instead of me effectively communicating that, I communicated, but not in an effective way. Not in an effective way. Right. And now there's a clash because I could have done this a better way. I could have said this in a better way. I could have, communicated effectively what I needed for this time. But I came home. You perceived me to have had an attitude. You perceived me that I didn't want to be bothered. You perceived that I didn't. That maybe it was just
love you today.
Yeah, maybe it was just you. You perceived that it was something. It was personal or whatever. When it wasn't that. It really had nothing to do with you. But that goes back to communication. It goes back to communicating effectively. So that's very important. That's deep what you said right there, because communicating effectively. And sometimes my wife will come down and joke. She's like, all right, I done gave you your time. Like, you gotta, and I sit there and I'll be like, yeah. I sit there and look at my watch. I'll be like, yeah, you did. You did. All right,
oh my God. Yeah. I've learned over time, man, you got to have something that you guys do together that just completely breaks the ice. Whether it's a video game, it's a card game, it's a board game, it's playing spades, it's playing checkers, I don't know, Connect Four, whatever it is, it's something that you can do that could break that off you, but I've learned that about myself. One thing that I've learned about myself is that my drive home is my decompress period for me. Now, this is what works for me. I can decompress on my drive home. I can throw on some worship praise. I can throw on some jazz. I can throw on some R&B. Or I'm not too much into rap, but I can go back to Rapper's Delight and I can throw that on and I can be like, yeah, but that's my decompress period. That's so that when I do get to the house, and if everybody's home, I am ready. So I purposely decompress. I try not to let anything affect me. Road rage, crazy drivers. I try not to allow any of that to affect me. I purposely set my tone while I'm driving home. I'm purposely getting rid of every single thing that I need to get off me while I'm driving home. Now that works for me. I know that doesn't work for everybody, but for me, that is how I got prepared. So if I got home and everybody was there, I'm ready when I walk in I'm ready when I walk inside the door. But I think it is wise that if that's not you and you need that time when you get home, hey, effectively ask for that. And your spouse response would probably be better than what we conceptualize inside of our head. And I know how Elise is sometimes. I need my time.
and so it's crazy too, because I've had to learn, like I've done both. I've communicated and I've used the ride home, but now we carpool twice a week. So that we get to deep.
You and her together?
So
wow.
So we get to, so that's our time together. Sometimes that's she got to decompress, and so I'll drive, and she, getting it all out and venting, and I'm just listening, or vice versa. But for me personally, my time is either super early in the morning or super late at night. Like I have to, because I realize for me,
you got a house full.
I got a house full, so when I walk into the door, it's go mode. And so I gotta
and
say, okay.
Zoe don't know what stop is.
Oh, and so and I didn't realize, like to your point, I didn't realize the effect I was having when I would say I need my time, because I would go off like, get away from me, and it pushed everybody away. So everybody was like, well, I ain't about to mess with you.
Dad.
I want to see you.
Yeah,
You
dad
tripping.
in a bad mood.
And so it made it seem like it was their fault. So I said, all right, I'll get up super early. Like I'll sacrifice my sleep to get up, get whatever I need done, whether it's working out, prayer, whatever. So that way, when I come home, you have me, and I don't have nothing to worry about. So that was kind of the process for me.
It's different. It's different. And I know it's different for you because you got so many different,
You got so many personalities
right,
in the
you got
house.
so many different personalities. So I got my wife, and then I got my son, who is his own. He's just turned 13, so he's
smelling himself right
he's
now.
trying to figure out who he is. He's trying to figure out who he is, all while still needing that assurance from his parents. So trying to learn how to properly properly navigate that. Wow, I got the two little girls that just they not gonna take no for an answer. They just
Right.
they just like, I need a minute. Yeah, whatever, Dad. So look, so this is what I got going on, Dad, and this is what I, so being able to navigate, all of those different. Okay, the wife, she needs this. She needs to talk about her day. She wants to talk about maybe school, maybe her career. My son, he wants to talk about sports. He wants to talk about the next thing, and we got this going on. And then I got the girls that they all over the place, and they just want to talk. They just want to talk, and they want to climb. I got the little one, she want to climb on my neck and just be there. And then the other one, she wants to come and read a book to me or whatever. I don't want to.
And you remember when you
none of this, none of that, none of it.
Leave
But,
me alone.
Yeah, but you got to make myself available.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So okay. So I've learned about myself more in the past 4 years than I have, because the deep dive into mental health happened. Counseling happened. And just having more self-awareness of who I am. And I think that when we start to do that more, of being more aware of who we are, we then become a better spouse, a better person in general, and also a better spouse. And that's also getting in the Word and realizing who you are. I was reading 1 Samuel. Oh no, I'm sorry, 2 Samuel. For my meditation time doing this week, and then God gave me the metaphor between the relationship between my grass and the relationship with Him.
Yeah,
Bruh.
there's your grass out there. Did you cut that, or
Yes, that's all me. That's all me, bruh. That's all me.
I was like, this look a little
That's
different
all
out there.
me, bruh. Listen here.
Tips.
I was going back and looking at the pictures of when I first moved into the house, and the first 2 years of me living, first 3 years of me living here, how I could not get this grass right. And it frustrated me because, when you have a house, the outside of the curb appearance, the very first thing that everybody see about your house. And it frustrated me. I was like, this grass is horrible. So I had the developers to come back and pull up all of the side, and they put down brand new side, and it did not do right. And I'm like, this has been bothering me, right? And so it was the correlation of the relationship with God and the relationship with my grass, right? And also he brought it into the relationship aspect of the man and the woman. How that when you don't know what to do, you're just doing anything to try to get the grass where you need for it to actually be, right? The same thing for your relationship. You don't know, you're just doing everything until you start utilizing the proper tools, getting the right knowledge about it, and then once you get that and you start cultivating it to be to where you start cultivating and nourishing it properly, then you start getting the outcome that you desire. And so I was like, God, why are you showing me this about the grass though, man? And when he broke that thing down, man, I said, oh wow, I did not know that my soil had fungus in it. I did not know that my soil didn't have the right mixture of our minerals in it. So I'm doing stuff and it's not working, and then I'm getting weeds, I'm getting more weeds, I'm getting crabgrass, I'm getting grass going over here, grass going over there, and I'm like, what is going on? But until I got the soil tested and I learned what the soil was lacking,
Yeah.
I couldn't, that my grass would never get to where it needed to be. So when I learned the minerals that need to be replenished inside of the soil, then the grass started coming. But the weeds were still there. Okay, the weeds still there. Okay, so what I'm going to do about the weeds? Okay, so now you got to learn how to manage the weeds while keeping the grass healthy and the grass growing. So I started learning how to do that. So then I got the right soil mixture. I got the right minerals in the soil. Then I had to add stuff to the soil so that I had a good base. So then once the base got right, the roots started taking, the grass started eating properly, and what happened? The blades started showing. So the fruit of the labor started to come up, right? So now, what you see a well manicured, healthy, super green grass that I didn't have 4 years ago.
No, but for real, like when I pulled out, that was the first thing I looked at. I said, this grass looked different, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And I was like, oh, this looked good. I need to go figure my grass out. but to your point,
Yes.
The one thing that, that what you said was so good, it was your persistence to wanting to get it right.
And the correlation to that, the actual correlation to it was about your relationship with God. And when you enter a relationship, and how that we forget that it takes cultivating, it takes nourishment, it takes putting the right ingredients of the two coming together to actually get the outcome that you want. No matter how frustrating it is, because it was frustrating, and it cost money to get it done, because after the developers came back and redid the side and it turned back to mud, I'm like, what's going on? So, but it cost. And watch this, the same investment I put in that grass is the same investment that we have to put inside of our relationships.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing. And while y'all were talking, something just dropped on me. It's amazing. You know what it took. You had to go through something over a 4-year period to get your grass to where you want it. You came and you saw a difference in what it was and what it is now. Me, this is my first time over here, so I just saw it. So it just looks like it's always been like that. So, three different perspectives. You actually being in it, having to go through something, and then when we look at stuff, we could look at it and say, wow, man, I love that relationship, or I love, what this person has, whatever it may be, whatever. But you don't really know what all it took. You don't know what all. I don't know. All I know is I'm coming in on the back end and I'm seeing the finished product. You've been here, so you've seen what it was and what it is now. And so that just talks about like a different perspective.
Yes. I have to show you pictures after we finish this taping. I have to show you some pictures of where it was to where it was on a nice sunny day, so that because even though it's raining and it's still look, it was so funny because I had to go look at it again. Like, man, this took work 5 years. Well, 5 years of being here and seeing it, but then how more important is to have the relationship with God, and then the getting, how that the word says that we are a tree planted by the water. Why is a tree planted by the water? Because there's nutrients within the water that the roots are getting, and it starts at the root. So if the root is not right, then what the tree is gonna be? The tree ain't gonna be nothing as long as the roots are not right. And then when the roots is getting every single thing it need, the roots go deeper. They go deeper into the ground. And so when we get the word in us, and we get the word in our heart, and the more that we get the word in our heart, the more that our root the more that our roots in God, in Christ, gets deeper, and the more that us being the tree, the more that we flourish, and the more that people see the light that is within us, and the more that we can reach people by simply doing the right things to get the nourishment and the cultivating to get the full budding of the tree from it, and then you get fruit from it. So, but man, I was like, man, God, you showing me all like you showed me this week. What's up, man? Like, and it was just so and I think the reason why the correlation of the grass came was because that I was looking at it, and I looked at the amount of time that I put into getting that grass right. And yes, it did cost money, but then how often do we spend the money to go get proper counseling, just to learn better tools of how to be a better husband, how to be a better a wife, and how to be a better team,
or the cost of time that we can't get back,
and exactly,
decisions or things that we say and do.
Exactly. And then what the word quickened me about is that when we do get into the right position with God, how God quickens everything, and the time that we lost is recouped, and God makes it better than what it was before. So I was just, man, I was like, God, man, that right there will preach. that right there will preach by myself. Okay, Abram, any final words, man?
Man, this conversation it was so needed, and I've been blessed for. I feel like we hit on so many different things, man. And I just been blessed. Y'all blessed me listening to y'all too. Y'all gave me some good nuggets to work on. So that's something that I'm thankful. So I'm appreciating, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Welcome, Alex.
It's always good to have these conversations. We talked about counseling. I always say that this is my counseling. This is just being able to have a conversation about what I'm dealing with, and being able to connect with other brothers and sisters too, because they, and be able to be on one accord with, hey, you're not alone. There's other people going through. We can get through this together. And so that's always the key for me, is being able to connect with, like-minded individuals who are trying to do better in life. So
awesome. Well, look, I definitely want to appreciate you brothers being here. Alex is my brother. He always here with me. And man, look, when you leave, bro, it's gonna be.
Now you got.
But I got Abram over here now, but he finna leave too. Oh, he gonna leave it too. He gonna leave it too. But still, man, I definitely, man, appreciate you guys being here, man. Like you say, man, I love how that we zine off each other. Glean off each other. Look, I got this tooth pulled, and this joker got me slurring words like I've never slurred before, and it's just going crazy. But it's awesome that I get to glean from you, and you guys get to glean from me. And man, look, this conversation is a topic. I forget how this topic even came up, but then I was wondering, how do our childhood really affect our upbringing. And it's sometimes things that we don't talk about in the church. We don't talk about in ministry, and that we talk over it. And I just believe that this is the reason why Sunday Conversations was created, to have those conversations that we're not having every single Wednesday, every single Sunday in church, and it's to get the conversation started. But man, I'm glad that you guys are here. I appreciate it. I know that you guys will be back, because we got a whole bunch more topics to go for. So I know you guys going to be back. So, but I just want to say thank you. And Abram, I'll see you again here on Sunday Conversations.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, you just finished watching Sunday Conversations. Man, what an awesome topic. How does your childhood affect your love style? And I definitely want to encourage people that learn a different vocabulary and when it comes to your relationships. Seek the knowledge to know who you are and where you come from and why you are the way that you are, which meaning that understanding deficits in your childhood and understanding how that those deficits shaped who you are today, and in your decision-making process. Understanding who you are as a whole makes a whole lot of difference when you are moving into relationships, and it brings out the best in you so that you can be the best husband or the best wife that you can to the person that you are marrying. But as always, on Sunday Conversation, we always have some awesome topics. Come back next week. We will continue these wonderful fire conversations up in the house. Until next time, I want to say thank you for liking, share, and subscribing to this YouTube channel. Continue to support the ministry, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future. Until then, this is your boy. I'm out.
Thank you for watching Sunday Conversations. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next week as we continue to bring you relevant content. Remember, God has a purpose and a plan for your life. Live life